Three men, one room, and decisions that would reshape the future. But what they agreed on would not unite the world. It would divide it. The meeting took place in a quiet resort, hidden away from the chaos of war, far from the eyes of the public. Backhand index pointing right, Yalta, a place chosen for secrecy, but destined to become one of the most important locations in modern history. Here, in February 1945, the fate of nations would be decided. At first, the discussion seemed reasonable. How to end the war, how to rebuild nations, how to prevent another global conflict. But beneath those conversations, something far more dangerous was unfolding. They began drawing lines, not on paper, but across entire countries. Europe will be divided. Germany, once powerful and feared, will be split into zones. Controlled by the U.S., controlled by Britain, controlled by the Soviet Union. It was meant to be temporary. It wasn't. While the others negotiated, one man already had the upper hand. Backhand index pointing right, Joseph Stalin. His armies were already on the ground, controlling large parts of Eastern Europe. And in negotiation, control on the ground often matters more than words. Stalin didn't need permission. He needed recognition. To maintain peace, compromises were made. The biggest promise: Eastern European countries would have free elections. It sounded fair, it sounded democratic, but it would not happen the way it was promised, because once the meeting ended, reality would look very different. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt believed something important, that cooperation with the Soviet Union was possible. He trusted that agreements made would be honored, but not everyone in that room shared that belief. Winston Churchill. Churchill saw the situation differently. He feared one thing above all, that Soviet power would spread across Europe and never leave. But Britain was weaker now, exhausted from years of war. And in that room, influence mattered. By the time the meeting ended, something irreversible had already happened. The world had not been united. It had been split, quietly, permanently. When the leaders left, they presented the meeting as a success. Cooperation, unity, a plan for peace. But beneath the surface, tensions were already growing, because the agreements made would soon be tested. Within months, the cracks began to show. Soviet influence expanded, promises questioned, trust disappeared. The alliance that won the war was beginning to fall apart, and a new kind of conflict was emerging, the Cold War. But what happened after this meeting would shape the next 50 years of global tension, because the lines drawn at Yalta would turn into borders of fear, walls of division, and a world constantly on the edge of war.